Two and a one, and we are live, and it is EuroScrum and Hookup, and Sam and Yara and Tom and David are in the house, and or not in the house, they're in the hangout. Why do I say in the house? That's just clarification tells me. Anyhow, that's a pivotal tracker. We don't really want to see that. We've got Michael C with us as well. Let's grab an Agile Ventures window. Let's start off with asking Tom, how are things going with you? Anything to report? You were just mentioning working with a nonprofit in Arizona.
Yeah, absolutely. I just started actually today. A buddy of mine put feelers out for interns to work on either HTML and JavaScript or Rails development, and he threw me on the Rails side. So I can't talk into too much details about what it is, but it's definitely definitely something that is something that I'm probably going to work heavy on. So
good stuff.
If I do need any help, I know where to go. So
sure, yeah. Is that can we look at the website of the nonprofit, or is it it's
absolutely? Actually, I'll let me get the link up real quick, and I'll post it in the chat on the side, and you can actually look at. I think it's hosted on Heroku, so
yeah.
Give me a second.
No rush. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for it, you could even try and pull it in as a Agile Ventures project if you wanted to get some pair partners in on
absolutely. I'll talk to my buddy and see his ideas on it. Yeah, because it's kind of I had to sign a non-disclosure and a non-compete agreement. So
okay, right. That's that's
posted in the chat. So
yeah, no, I've got it there. That's less common for non-profits, but okay, cool. All right. Anything blocking you? Are you planning to pair today? I guess it's late for you. You're probably planning to sleep.
I took like a 2-hour nap, so I'm probably going to be up for at least a couple more hours. So I'm available to pair with whoever wants to pair.
Good to know. Good stuff. Let's check in with David then as well. David, how are things with you?
Hello. Yeah, we had good Euro Asia Scrum after Google Video Hangouts came back up in Europe.
Oh, good show.
Craig and I posted a couple of bug reports, and we'd certainly like feedback on, well, basically a decision made on the best place to best place to help newbies configure their Postgres permissions.
Right.
We have little help started about in the wiki, and we don't have an automated script in the right place to do it.
Now, is this local support or website one, or what are we talking about?
This was website one we were talking about, but it applies to everybody. I think it's more obvious the way we help people in local support. Certainly Michelle got going straight away, but then she already had she used a Vagrant.
Yeah.
And that worked.
So you were saying you posted some bug reports. Where would I find those bug reports?
There's one in local. If there's one in website one, that's one about the Mercury editor.
Oh, okay.
And the other one is in our setup scripts project.
Okay. Right. And that's a setup separate project now.
Setup dash scripts.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that it?
Good show, and that'll be also in the issues. All right.
Okay. No obvious blocks, except that not quite sure how much time I'm going to get to pair with Michelle on our local support story over the next few days, and it may mean just kind of reorganizing that and swapping around the pair partners.
Yeah, sure. I mean, just to mention on that, I paired with Michelle for about 2 hours last night, getting all those bugs fixed up in the MOOC office hours. But I'll come back to that. Okay.
Cool, look forward to hearing about that. That's great.
Yeah, but we'll maybe check in with everybody else first. Yarrow, how are things with you?
Things are good. Good morning.
Yeah.
I had a long pairing session with John Engelbert last night.
Great.
Introduced him to the true power of TDD. He's catching on it. That was good. What else? Brian has given some good comments about my article on mocks and stubs. That was good feedback, and I really need to update the article with his feedback. Although he absolutely criticized the getting started getting started page.
Yeah.
And so I'm waiting for his feedback on that, because he Basically, he says he sees it some other complete different way of presenting.
Okay, I see.
What else? And that's it. That's it for the moment.
Okay. All right. So nothing blocking you, and are you up for pairing now? What's your pairing?
I'll be available for pairing in about an hour and a half.
Okay.
No blockages for me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I have reviewed all my pull requests, so I'm just waiting for Brian to merge that in.
Okay.
I mean, that's the only thing which is holding me back, because I'd really like to get them merged before continuing to work.
Sure. Has Brian got the sufficient number of reviews from other people? Is that it's just him getting to them now? Has he got his? He's got his, like, two other people have to look at them. Have two other people checked out all the other pull requests?
Yeah, well, for the moment, it's just his personal time.
Okay. No, fair enough. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. Hopefully, this we can resolve that. If it doesn't, I think we're going to have to take that up to a new level. Let's move on to Nick. Hey, Nick, how are things going with you?
Things are good. Good. Hello, everybody. My pull requests got merged in. One is still waiting. I'm not sure for what. But in the meantime, I started working on a new pivotal story, and that is about adding the user's local time to the events.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Excellent.
That's really valuable. Yeah.
So the idea to do it is to do it with JavaScript locally on the client. And I very quickly took a look at the available JavaScript methods for dealing with all that. And it seems like the easiest way will be just to grab the string that represents the time, parse it into an actual valid time format, and then there is a very handy method that converts it automatically to the local time. So I think it should be a fairly simple thing to do.
Is there some jQuery methods you'll be using for that?
Yeah, sure. To get access back at the DOM and insert it back in.
I don't know if it's there's some jQuery time zone things, but I don't know if they're particularly useful. But yeah, cool. But I
just posted a little snippet into the group chat.
Yeah, I see that, Yaro. Thanks.
Do you have a look at that? This get time zone offset.
Yeah, I saw that. I think I've seen that, and there are some other methods. I'm really hoping to get just a bit of time to pair today, and whoever that person might be, I'm hoping that I can walk them through my thought process, and then they can give me some suggestions back.
And I guess hopefully we'll also have some Jasmine testing associated with that.
Yeah. So for me, that might be the harder part, actually, is Jasmine before the JavaScript.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And I guess it's not clear to you what time today you'll be free for that. It's just that sometime going to pop up, and maybe it will, and maybe it won't. And anyway, you can just obviously ask on Slack to see if people are free. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And Pavel is here. Osipenko. I haven't seen you. Is this your first Scrum, or you've been in a couple of them before?
Yes, it's first.
Well, welcome. I don't know if you've joined the Agile. Don't feel that you have to share things on your first one. Often people come in and they're just getting situated. You're taking the 1692 course at the moment.
Yes.
Yes, excellent. And so I guess you're following through on the optional open source assignment. Is that right?
I choose a local support. I fork GitHub repo.
Excellent.
And install on my new local machine.
Great. Okay, cool. So, we'll be having the local support client meeting coming up very soon, and there'll probably be after the Scrum a meeting will be the local support client meeting prep, and we'll be discussing all the different stories and so on. So, we can chat more about local support there. Did you have any immediate questions or blocks?
No.
No, and you're available after the Scrum?
Yes.
Great, good show. Okay, moving on to, we've got Michael is here. Great to have you back. How are you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Anything to report? You were just talking about spec refactorings.
Just a little playing around with some specs in the controllers.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I think there's definitely a strong argument for specs being cleaned up. I guess that I guess there's nothing blocking you at the Michael. Sorry, nothing blocking you at the moment, Michael.
No, not really.
Yeah. And
Just
you're free. You got some free time today, or?
have a little bit after the meeting.
Okay, cool. Yeah, maybe that's a good segue into for me to report back. So the big thing since the last Scrum for me yesterday were yeah, with a bit more pairing, and then we had the MOOC open office. Well, the failure of the Hangouts yesterday was appalling timing. I had an independent filmmaker in recording the Atlantic Scrum, and then ready to record like a crossover. We had 2 MOOC students and 2 Maker students, and you know, then the Hangouts just stopped working, and you know, just didn't happen. So that was deeply unfortunate. But anyway, we things are as they are. I did carry on doing some. We've been doing some refactoring of the local support admin interface with one of the Maker students who's very interested in the different sort of styling options. I'll talk more about that, I guess, in the local support meeting. Then we went on and we had the MOOC office hours, and we used Skype basically because the Hangout wasn't working. And I was wondering if we were going to get anybody, but we managed to have like 3 169.2 students and like a pair programming person, Pierre actually, who I'd pair programmed on AngularJS with before. And we ended up going through in detail a series of errors that David and Michelle had been getting in the volunteer ops controller, and it was actually quite a tricky bug, and we got to the bottom of it. And the key problem was a conflation in the type of test. If I can find the right test, I think it was in the update thing here. And so the key issue was that there was, you know, some stubbing of the database, but then the attempt to check whether the, you know, behavior had taken place was actually a check on the database. And what we had was it was I can get into more detail, but it was anyway, it took a long time to track down, but when we finally found it, we managed to refactor and sort these things all out so that all of these tests are now passing, and I think arrange a better layout for the volunteer ops controller. But I think the big thing for me is I'm really starting to question the value of controller specs for simple methods like this kind of update method, where, you know, the feature can, you know, the feature can cover most of the paths. I mean, the situation where you want tight unit testing is where your high-level features are not covering the majority of the paths through the code base. But if you've got a controller method that's got multiple code paths, then that's a design smell that says, well, that complexity should be pulled out into a model or a service. Anyhow.
Yeah,
so,
or at least into a filter or something like that.
Yeah, there's absolutely, which can then be tested independently. I mean, I'm not completely, I think, thinking over it, sleeping on it, there's still changes that I might want to make to this. I don't know if Michelle will be available to talk about this later, but we will see. So things blocking me, partly getting Agile Ventures set up officially in the right way. I need to work with David and Brian. David, I don't know if you had a chance to look at the document that I sent.
Yeah, I've read that, and I'll need to print it out and post it back to you.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. We can chat about that more later, as long as you're on there. And I've got we've got to work out some issues with titles that I'm going to discuss with Rachel today in the client meeting, which is coming up at in about an hour and 15 minutes from now. Yeah. So that's it. It's the last. We're releasing the part 2 of the final homework for the 1692. I think it's under control. I think that's we're on time to wrap up there. Any other critical business before we finish the Scrum?
Yeah, I noticed that the Pacific Rim Scrum doesn't have a regular host.
It does not. We would love to have a regular host for the Pacific Rim Scrum.
I think that's 3 p.m. local for me. On Tuesdays and Thursdays I can do.
That would be awesome if you could kick that off. We would be very grateful indeed.
I can do that. In fact, I could probably start it, if not tomorrow, then Tuesday.
That would be great. I think once it gets going, if there's someone there, we can start to build. There's a lot of people in that time zone for whom that would suit.
Right.
Yeah. The key thing at the moment is we've got somewhat odd functionality for the the Hangout. Hopefully, it's going to be fixed. Actually, I just wanted to check with David. This is the time that you're running the Euro Asia Scrum at the moment. So 7:15, our current UTC +1.
Yeah, 7:15 British time. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. The thing at the moment, Thomas, just to be aware of, is that at the moment the old Hangout links don't expire. So if you want to start the new Scrum at the moment, you need to click to restart the Hangout and just start a Hangout on there. That's how at the moment how you're doing it.
Right, I kind of went through that like 10 minutes ago. So
yeah. Hopefully, very soon we'll have it so that it will, expire the previous Hangout, and so it will just be, there's a button that Yaro's designed that you'll just click and say, right, start the Hangout, and it'll be simpler. Anyway, but that's a fantastic offer, Thomas. Really, really, very much appreciated. All right, let's stop the broadcast there.
I have a question.
Oh, yes, Yaro?
Yeah, looking at the Google Analytics for Website 1 last night.
Yes.
Me and Brian noticed that the About page is the second most clickable page on our website.
Yes.
And maybe it's a good idea to, edit it.
Yeah, I do edit it fairly frequently. Yes. Well, if there's a specific change that you'd like to suggest, then I'm all in.
I was thinking of asking you if you have any ideas, if there's anything we should add to About Us, or...
Well, I mean, I wrote pretty much everything that's there at the moment, so right off the top of my head, I don't have immediate ideas about what I want to add. I'm more concerned with, making it so that when people click on these links, that they can actually get into the Scrums, and that Scrum Masters who might be running Scrums can actually start them. But so I don't immediately have an additional things that I want to
one of the pages for the wiki, I forget which one, it might be the About. I saw that there was a reference to Skype.
Okay.
Still work, I guess.
Yeah, I guess the Skype drivers are there. I guess that should be updated. Please connect to Sam. We have to say I guess what we really need here is a fix for this, so that people can just request addition to Slack. Although we need to get Slack to give us more. We're losing some of the history too early now that we have so many rooms and so many people and so much activity. We need on Slack.
The pricing is rather expensive to upgrade.
What's rather expensive?
The pricing would be rather expensive to
upgrade. We do have a discussion with them about the fact that we're a non-profit, and they have given us some free. They're giving us like Ninefold. They're giving us a certain amount of coverage, or in terms of they're giving us a certain amount of service for additional service that people who are normal customers don't get for free because of our status as a non-profit. So I may just need to start discussing with them about getting more. Send an email to let's say support@agileventures.com, agileventures.org, to be added to the Slack. Okay. Please connect to Slack. Please join Slack. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think but I'm all ears for additional suggestions to this, Yarrow. If you've got particular changes, of sections that should be added, then you could even just add them, and then we can discuss them further.
All right. It was actually more Brian's idea of re-editing the About Us page. I'll think about it, sure, but at the moment I don't have any ideas.
No, okay. Well, I mean, there's a question about the About Us versus this getting started. I mean, I think we could have like a very short summary of the getting started. Anyway, let's wrap the Scrum up. I need to get to the local.
Before you go, can you just confirm the time of the customer meeting, the client meeting for local support? Because it's
it's 70 minutes from now, so 1 hour and 10 minutes from now, at 12:30, UTC +1. Yep. Okay. All right. So I'm going to just stop the broadcast.